Hey guys, it's Rebecca Elijah, but you family, so you can call me Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're blessed, and I hope that you are emerging out of this quarantine correctly and well. So let's jump straight into this topic. So I wanted to let you guys know that your voice has power. There is power in the voice, okay? That's what we're going to talk about today, the power of the voice. I need you guys to understand and to know that your specific voice releases a unique sound. So you need to share that sound with the world. Your voice is meant to be heard. Your voice is meant to be voiced to the world, okay? So you have to look at it this way. Every function, everything that we have is for a particular and specific reason. Ask yourself this: why do I have my voice? If you had your voice just to stay silent, there wouldn't be any purpose for the voice. So why do you have your voice, and what are you doing with your voice? Where are you sharing your voice? What power are you releasing out of your mouth? Your voice has power, and now is the time to use it. With the rise of political issues, everything that we're seeing, Black Lives Matter, debates about coronavirus, debates about vaccines, debates about just everything concerning you and concerning where you live, concerning your environment, concerning your house. You have a voice, and your voice ministers to what can be seen in the world and what will be seen in the world. It is time for you to rise up and use your voice. We can't stay silent anymore. It is time. But you need to know, before you can voice your opinions and before you can speak out, you need to know that your voice has power. You are unique. Your voice has a unique sound, which speaks to the fact that every unique voice has a unique audience. So you need to realize that when you speak, you are ministering, you are speaking to a group of people that could not be reached unless you opened your mouth. No voice is the same. Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande, they might sound similar. She might hit those runs differently. And like, oh my gosh, she sounds like Mariah Carey. But she has a specific audience to her. There are people who flock to Ariana Grande that don't flock to Mariah Carey, and vice versa. You need to know that your audience is unique. It could sound similar to someone, but it's not the same. And it's not the same because your voice is not the same as anyone else's voice. So you need to know that your voice is unique, okay? With me talking about the uniqueness of your sound, the uniqueness of your voice, and the uniqueness of your audience, you need to know that you have a responsibility to your audience. Even if it's even your audience can be one person or two people. Do you know who that one person could be tied to? Who those two people could be tied to? Do not minimize the fact that your voice is heard by someone. You have a responsibility and a reach, and you can't reach them unless you speak. Silence isn't doing anything for you in this point in state and time. You need to voice. Use the power that is within your voice to speak out so that it can be heard. It's kind of like the butterfly effect. You know how when they talk about the butterfly effect, they said the flap of a wing could literally start a hurricane or a tsunami someplace else. But your voice, do you know if the butterfly effect can do that, how much so your voice? Think about that. Your voice has so much power that it can create and spark a change. Do not trivialize your spark when your spark is meant to start a fire, when it's meant to start a wildfire. There is no wildfire without the spark. Don't think that, okay, if I keep silent, it's fine, the wildfire will still come. How don't you know that wildfire is not tied to your spark, your voice? We need to speak. It's time to speak. It's time to use our voice and share whatever you have. And when I say voice, let me just touch on a point. When I'm talking about your voice, I'm talking about what is it that's passionate? What are you passionate about? What is it that is on your heart? There's some things that can be on your heart and you're like, man, I really wish I could see a change when it comes to race, a change when it comes to inequality with women, a change when it comes to the church, a change when it comes to this. And then you just sit down and you do nothing. You silently wait for someone to speak up and oh my gosh, yeah, that's what I was just speaking about before. But the thing is, just because that person is speaking about it, you still need to speak about it too, because your audience is different from their audience. We need to open our mouth and speak. Voice out what you are passionate about. Voice out what you want to see change. There is no change unless we speak. Your voice is powerful. And you have to, one thing I did not realize, there was a time where, I'm going to give you guys a story, quick story. In this past year, I was teaching at a school. I was substituting at a school. And at this school, if I didn't speak up, I just want to tell you about the power of your voice and the power of speaking up. I want to say that it was like 7th and 8th graders were in this class. And I just noticed like their attitude was foul. They thought, just clowning around, goofing around, the profanity, everything that they were doing. They thought they were cool. They thought they were about that life. But when you can see past the BS, when you can see past the facade that people put up, it's our job to call it out. If I didn't voice it, if I didn't speak up, you never know what would have happened. So anyway, continuing. So during this class, there was a group of students. I noticed there was one boy in particularly, and it looked like he was going through it. So I'm over here taking attendance, and then I noticed that I said his name. He was like, here. That was it. That's all. And then he continued, and I just continued calling on other people. But then my heart, I could not move on. This boy was calling out to me. And so I just looked at him and I said, are you okay? What's up? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. It's whatever. So I just was like, what? Let me leave it alone. Let me just continue to do attendance, Let me mind my place. Let me keep silent about this feeling that I'm feeling right now. And then after that, I was doing more attendance, calling more names, and I noticed another girl in the corner, and she was like, here. And she was really shy with it too. But it wasn't a type of timidity where it's oh, I'm just shy. It looked like she was scared, physically scared. And I was like, what is happening here? And so after that, I was like, you know what? No, let me just, I need to speak this out. I need to voice what I'm feeling. I looked at this 8th grader and I told him, I said, you know what? You're gonna be someone very amazing in this world. I was like, I don't know. I know I'm just a substitute for the day, but I'm just looking at you. I feel like you're gonna be someone great. No, I know you're gonna be someone great. And so then he just starts crying in front of the whole class, just crying. And so while he's crying, I was like, is everything okay? I was like, okay, let's just have a real moment. I had everyone just put their books away, and we just used that time, that 15 minutes to just talk and see where everyone's head was at. And he just felt like he wasn't heard at home. He felt like he didn't have a voice. He felt like everything that he was saying, no one would pay attention to because of the issues that were going on in his home life. He felt like it was more important than what he had to say. But by me saying, you are going to be someone, it literally, it broke that insecurity, and it made room for conversation. Come to find out that there was 5 to 6 other kids in that classroom feeling the exact same way, and they were vulnerable. They were just looking for someone to be open with. And what was that? It was just me releasing my voice to speak what was in my heart, speak what I was passionate about. And because of that, from that day, little did I know that was that boy's first day at that school. He had just moved. He had been moving from place to place. He had been going through some things, and his home life was not that good. When I talked to the faculty, they were saying he's had a hard life. Never actually seen him smile. People at the last school, they were sending over information about him and saying he might not be too open. But just by me having that moment with the students, just by me expressing my voice and having the students have a real moment where they're expressing how they all feel, he was able to open up. And after that, when I say I started subbing for that class, and this boy was smiling, this boy was interactive, he had friends after that because they created a bond. There is power in your voice. Whose freedom, whose breakthrough is attached to your voice? Some people can't move unless you speak. Some people can't move out of their situation that they're in unless you speak. It doesn't matter how big it may be and how small it may sound. If you are feeling it and you know that a change needs to come and you're seeing where the change needs to be made, you need to open your mouth to address it. Because you have that feeling, because you have that desire, that passion, that means that mandate and that responsibility is on your shoulders. Don't be irresponsible with the voice that you have. I also want to say this. Don't allow the world or situations silence your voice. Don't allow the world to silence your voice. Don't allow situations to silence your voice just because you see something happen over there. If the world can get you to be silent, then the world can get you to be subdued. If the problems that you're trying to change can get you to be silent, then you've allowed that problem to win. Just because you see a situation or something happening not the way you want it to happen in the world, just because maybe someone else spoke up, but you're seeing a revolt against that, and you just decide to keep silent. By you keeping silent, you're just agreeing with the problem. You're saying, okay, let me just be quiet now. Don't allow the world and don't allow situations to push you into silence. Do not allow that to win. Do not allow that problem to win. If you know that there needs to be change, continue to speak up and continue to promote that change. You can't cut a tree. You don't cut a tree down with one strike. So why do you think if things don't go the way you want it to go within one instance of you voicing your opinion or voicing what you think matters, that you should give up? You need to keep striking the tree until it falls. Keep striking that thing until it falls down. Keep striking that thing until you see movement, until you see change. Don't stop with one strike. The next thing I want to say, let knowledge, understanding, and most importantly, wisdom back the words in your voice. Let knowledge, understanding, and wisdom back the words that your voice is releasing. If you don't have knowledge, if you don't have the knowledge of what is happening, if you don't have the understanding about what is happening, and you don't have the wisdom of what is happening, but you're just speaking, then you're just making noise. There's so many people in the world right now just making noise. They're not speaking. They're not speaking in a way that brings about change. They're talking. You see a lot of yapping, but it's just noise because there's no wisdom to back it up. There's no knowledge and no understanding of the matter and what is actually happening to back up what they're trying to see change. Enough is enough. If we want change, we need to educate ourselves on the history and the current state of that thing that we want to see change in. We have so many resources that we can use in order to do this. Like my sister Jessica likes to call it YouTube University, yo. There's nothing that you can't Google. There's nothing that you can't look up on YouTube. We have libraries. We have history books. There's so many ways that you can educate yourself on the things that you want to see change. There is a website, the state website for everyone, where it shows all your policies, all the bills, everything that is being passed, and it shows everything that is going on within your state. Educate yourself in it. Before you protest, know what you're protesting about. Before you want to speak up, know what you're speaking about and have an understanding of it. Sometimes people know things, but they don't understand it. Make sure you have the understanding to the knowledge that you have so you can use wisdom when you're talking about it. Educate yourself so your voice and your words carry weight and carry power, okay? The level that you educate yourself in what you are passionate about or what you want to speak about or the topics, the current events of what's happening in the world, how you educate yourself on those things is kind of like the volume of your voice. Yeah, I like that. It's like the volume of your voice, okay? So the more you educate yourself, the more you know, the more people you reach, because the sound, it's pretty loud. You see what I'm saying? Let your voice carry sound. Let it carry the impact. Let it be loud. How can you get your voice to be loud? By educating yourself. Know what you're talking about or don't speak at all. Make sure when you open your mouth to speak, you're adding something of substance. You're not just adding noise. If not, you might as well have just let that one voice speak, because at least there's clarity. And that just ties into my next point. Do not let your actions or lack thereof water down your voice. Don't do that to yourself. Because sometimes there's some people who they will speak one thing, but their actions will say another. Because your actions are saying another, your voice isn't validated. Let your actions and your voice come together so that your voice now has a substantial weight of power and what you're saying is validated. Because if you're trying to address a certain issue, if you're trying to say that you're passionate about something, but then you're not doing what you're saying, ain't nobody gonna listen to you. Don't let your actions or lack thereof demolish or diminish your voice. And that's another thing when you're saying, like, if you're saying, oh, we need change. We need to see this happen. We need to do this. We need to do this. What are you doing? What are you doing? If you want that change, be about the change and show that you're doing the change too. Because when people see you and they're like, oh, she's serious. Oh, he's serious about this. And they see you actually moving about it, they're going to be like, hey, I want to join along too. Let me get in on this. Move with your voice. I want you guys to remember this. Change can only come unless it's voiced first and then acted upon. Knowledge, understanding, wisdom, plus your voice, plus action will cause a reaction. And that reaction will lead to a transaction. And what is a transaction? A transaction is an act of goods. It's like a transfer. It's like an exchange, like a replacement. Okay? You need to understand something about this world. There is nothing in this world that is ever void. Life has no voids. There is constantly something always occupying something. What knowledge, what sound, what actions are you releasing to replace the negative change with where the positive change should be? What are you releasing to transfer a positive change into where the negative change used to be? Because if you're not using your voice, if you're not using something of substance that has the backing of education with knowledge and everything, you are just going to leave that place occupied by that negative thing. Because it has to have something powerful. Your voice has to be powerful enough to push it off of that thing so the positive change can come and take the place of occupancy. These are the things we really need to be thinking about. Your voice has power. Your voice has power. I'll say it again. Your voice has power. Your voice makes a difference. Use it. Let the sound that is coming out of your voice be louder than the noise that the world is making. I just want you guys to really leave here and ask yourself this. What sound is my voice releasing? And what is that sound saying about me? Every sound you make, it makes an impact, okay? And I want to say this too. Silence is a sound. Silence is a sound. And sometimes silence can have an impact if it's used the right way. But if you're choosing to be silent right now, what is the impact of your silence? What is your silence saying? What is the sound that your silence is releasing? What does it say? What is it saying? Is it aiding or is it, there's no such thing as being in between. It's either your sound is making an impact or it's working against you. Don't let your sound work against you. And you have to know when the right time is to be silent and when the right time it is to speak up. What season, what moment are we in? We're in a moment, I'm gonna let you know right now, we're in a moment where you need to use your voice, where you need to speak up. Release the sound that's within you. Trust that sound can make a difference. Trust that sound can make a change. Trust that sound will create a spark that will cause a wildfire to blow and remove every negative thing that you want to be removed. Let it burn it out. But you need to know that your spark can do that. Your voice can do that. It's time. Speak up. Well, guys, that's all I have for today. And you already know that I love you so much. And you guys are awesome. And I know your voice has power. I just want you to know that your voice has power. It does. And it will bring about change as long as you do what you need to do to bring about that change. Okay? Educate yourself. Believe in your voice. And don't hide your sound. Release it. Okay? I love you guys. You guys are blessed. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. June is coming very soon. I hope that you get everything that you're looking for out of this new month that is coming. And yeah, stay safe, stay blessed, and I love you. Until next time, this is Rebecca Elijah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.